Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Fan Open My Night here exclusively on this very platform. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. As always, 93 of you guys, amazing people out there that's hit that subscribe button and want honesty towards professional wrestling. And I'm going to give you honesty towards professional wrestling. I know I don't do it as often as I should, but nothing's been that exciting in the wrestling world, although Although, the reason why I'm saying this is because, quite honestly, I am fucking looking forward to AEW Forbidden Door 2026. I've said it, right? I've said enough on this video. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. No, but on a serious note, this pay-per-view looks stacked, amazing, everything about it, quite honestly. You all I can say is, guys, right? I want to say this to you guys, right? Every match in that card is going to deliver in its own special way. You know, it's going to trigger a lot of things in me as a wrestling fan. Like Double or Nothing did. That was actually fantastic pay-per-view. A lot of people gave it a lot of praise. Job well done, AEW, and continuing on the trend. All I can say is this. I never actually mentioned this on a video before. But I would have thought when my AEW came out, I thought they were going to dumb down the product. What I mean by dumb down the product, because you look at the way WWE was on a pay-per-view provider. This is when they were doing pay-per-views, not PLEs. You paid monthly for a pay-per-view. You got a decent pay-per-view. You got pyro. You got different staging. You got different this, different that, different entity. A lot more emphasis towards the matches. You had decent storylines, etc., etc., etc. Then it went on to the WWE Network. Yes, it was sort of decent to watch, although the product kept dumbing down, meaning lack of staging, lack of pyro, lack of this, lack of that. Then the network ceased to exist. Even though I still enjoyed it watching the network, I was going through the back catalogue and so on. Some things I didn't agree with. What I used to love as a little kid, didn't love when I'm a full grown adult, now I'm 44 next week. Yeah, turn 44 next week. And then obviously when it's gone on to Netflix, it's absolutely trash and I've turned off. I had worried that we would have had that same thing with AEW, but it's living proof it's not. It's still delivering. It's bringing more stuff to the with our pricing that we're paying monthly or yearly. They're not holding back. I'm just loving the current storylines that have been going off as of late with AEW. Mercedes Moné's in the final. I wouldn't mind her facing Athena. Hopefully Athena goes through. And then hopefully Athena beats her to the punch to obviously beat Mercedes Moné. You know, and I'm intrigued. I really am. But I love all the little Easter eggs that we've actually got from AEW because they kept quoting Redemption. That was a little Easter egg towards obviously the Redemption pay-per-view that's going to be happening in July. And the way Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay's been talking about Hangman Adam Page, we don't know where he is. But could he be a Redemption? Could it end up in a freeway between them two? Or triple threat? I just want to say this. This fucking Owen Hart tournament has been banging. Match after match. You know, and I've really enjoyed it going forward. But when I look at the men's one, yeah, we may have thought, okay, Will Ospreay's going to win this. But there could be some scenarios. There could be the likes of Hangman Adam Page coming back, siding with the likes of Swerve Strickland, because, like Swerve Strickland says, that Will Ospreay has changed. And now I look at the way he has changed. This is him turning into a Death Rider that I predicted months ago when he started working with the Death Riders. And I feel like this is an interesting angle to where people are starting to point it out, and where he's turning around and says about his hair changing. You know, I brought a reference to that on one of my videos. I think he's definitely watched it because I've actually saw people that when I've shared it on Instagram and that lot, I saw Will Ospreay looked at the link, and I can tell you he's watched my stuff, and I'm grateful for when he does watch my stuff. But the way you could tell how angry Will Ospreay's getting towards Swerve Strickland to hit a nerve, could this be the start of the turn of him being in the Death Riders? You know, there's so many possibilities and scenarios that's playing fantasy booker with my brain. But when I just watched this promo and I was like, oh my god, it's rare in professional wrestling these day and age. I get goosepimples. I get goosepimples when I go to live wrestling shows, granted, but I mean like this stuff that we see on TV, and that was golden, absolutely golden. And I'm to say they've dropped the F bomb, which is fantastic in itself, because if you literally, all I can say is this: when they've pushed a nerve and the obviously with the little delay they have, so they can actually edit stuff out or anything like that quite rapidly. I'm glad AEW don't do that because it gives that more realism of feel. And I'm glad they have the freedom of speech on AEW. Otherwise, that promo I don't think would have been amazing if it was scripted. All I can say is the deliverance on that, and you're building just Forbidden Door. This is why I say the Owen Hart tournament is highly underrated. I feel like, yes, there should have been a lot more knockout phases, more competitors. But this one, Jesus Christ. I've still got goosebumps to talk about it now. And what a show. What an absolute banger of a show. And a week on Sunday, we've got the pay per view. I'm hoping, I'm going to say this, I'm hoping I get to see this live. I really am. But my God, this is exciting time to be an AEW fan. That's me being honest.